So today I'm with Rany from Toronto, and Toronto's the largest city in Canada with a population of about 2.8 million in the city and 6.2 million in the Greater Toronto Area. It sits on the northwest shore of Lake Ontario, and it's not really the first place where most people picture when they think of adventure riding. But Rany, thank you for joining. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great, great. So let's start from the very beginning. Who are you and when did you start riding motorcycles?
My name's Rainey, and I am been living in Toronto. I grew up in Brampton, living in Toronto since college graduation, and then I started riding at the age of 30, but I had to lie to my parents because as an Asian person, my parents were like, "No motorcycle." Even though in high school, I was like, "I want to take kung fu. I want to learn how to ride because I want to be like Jackie Chan in all those movies." Anyways, so I remember I signed up for my training in Toronto, but it was canceled, and I needed to get my one, I guess, exit that weekend. Otherwise, my M1 expires after 90 days in Ontario.
Okay.
So the only one that was available was in King City, which is right by where my parents live. So I was like, "Mom, can you drop me off for class?" They're like, "Sure, no problem." And so they dropped me off, and it's in like a college space. I'm like, "Okay, you can just drop me off here." They're like, "No, no, no, we'll drive you up to class." I'm like, "No, no, no, just leave me here." So I get out of the car and I run towards the motorcycle, how they train in parking lots. And when I get home, my dad's like, "Your mom knows you're taking motorcycle lessons now." I'm like, so there it is. So
Girl,
yeah, I've
I
always
get
wanted
it.
to ride. hmm
Awesome.
hmm
I get it. Same thing. My mom hates it that I ride motorcycles. She's more scared for me than anything. And nobody in our family rode motorcycles either. So yeah, I get the challenge.
So yeah, I love it though. But now when I go on adventures and stuff, my mother's like, "I'm not going on social media because I'm gonna lose all my hair."
Yeah. Awesome. So what do you ride now?
Currently, the one that is on road is my Honda Acura Twin Adventure Sport. And then I also have a little dirt bike, a CRF 250, and then I have a really modified CBR 250. Because when I first started riding, the bike that inspired me to ride was the BMW SS 1000RR, like the 2008 model. It had carbon fiber. It was beautiful. And like, I'm gonna ride that bike. But then I was like into sports bike, tried tracking, and then I had a Gixxer, and then I was like, there's not really anywhere to go in Toronto. So I switched to dirt biking, and then I fell in love with adventure riding. And I have a tall bike. The Astra Twin is pretty tall, but I got just a short seat, and it's very good for me.
Awesome.
Yeah,
How tall are you?
I'm 5'2" or 160 centimeter.
Amazing. Very inspiring. I get it. I'm
Mhm.
pretty short too. And okay,
How tall
so
are you?
5'1" barely.
What do you ride?
Well, we rented dirt bikes in Austin for the BDR, and it was a Kawasaki 250. But now I ride Harley Davidson Dyna,
Oh, I see, I see.
so
Yeah, yeah.
low and big.
hmm
Yeah, but you like more adventure riding than street?
Yes, because have you been to Toronto? It's a lot of bad traffic and there's not a lot of twisties around. Like the other day I rode with a buddy of mine and we had to go to Dundas, Ontario, which is like an hour and a half drive away to get like three twisties. They're
Okay.
like, okay, great, that's done. Whereas, with adventure riding, you get to go more places. And actually, because I bought the Aspen Twin I had bought it when I broke my foot. No, I had severed a tendon in my foot and I had bought the bike without really trying it on. So my husband drove it home. And then when it was finally time for me to ride, I was like, I think this bike is too tall for me. And that's when I started Googling how to ride tall bikes. And that's where I found Jocelyn and all her amazing videos. So yeah,
Jocelyn
and then
Snow?
yeah, yes, that's where I found Jocelyn Snow and her amazing videos. And I contacted her via email or like social media. And she actually responded. I was like, oh my goodness, what a nice lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
have you
And so because riding with her, I feel like I've grown a little bit taller because I'm like, oh, this bike doesn't feel so tall anymore.
awesome. So tell me about that. When did you go riding with Jocelyn Snow?
Um, I've always been a fan of Jocelyn. And then last year, when I was unemployed, because I'm a contract work, and I saw that she was doing a tour in May last year, her like 10 Nations Balkan tour. It's like basically 14 countries. Or is it 10, sorry, 10 nations. So 10 nations, 14 days. And so I was like, hey, I'm free. So I'm going to go ride with her. And then, yeah, it was great. I learned a lot. She taught me how to like move my bike around when you're parking, when you're riding and now it's time to park in the parking lot and everyone's kind of like awkwardly placing themselves. So she taught us how to line our bikes properly. And she was like, "Oh, no, no, don't ride that bike. You can ride the 1300, the GS 1300." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that's so tall and so expensive." But really, with her help, I'm like, "Oh, I can ride anything if she believes
Awesome.
in me."
So
So
did you go on a 14-day tour with Jocelyn?
yes, it was a 14-day on-road tour with her in Europe. And
Wow.
then I saw that I was coming off a Costa Rica trip, and I saw that she was running a BDR trip, and that, you can bring your own bike. I'm like, well, the reason why how I met her was because of my Africa twin. So I'm like, I'm gonna bring my Africa twin and like put two and two together because if anyone, she will help me pick up my bike. So yeah, it was
Right.
great.
That was
And so I
awesome.
got to ride with her again in March and for the Chattahoochee BDRX.
Okay, where is the Chattahoochee?
It is in Georgia.
Okay. And how long was that? BDR.
It was just a weekend ride. The Chattahoochee BDRX was a 3-day ride, but there's the meeting before, and she does cute little training sessions in between. Like if we're about to hit a river, she'll remind us of how to look, where to look, and what to do. And then once in a while, she'll throw in like a pop quiz, and yeah, it was great. So the whole time, and riding with the group of female like Wendy and Cookie, it was like everything was so affirmative and positive. So it was great, because all my writing buddies, I'm sure you too, my writing buddies are males mostly.
Okay, so that's so cool. So you'd highly recommend if, say, I was a learner and I wanted to learn, and I'm shorter, I wanted to learn a big bike and how to do ADV or off road, you'd recommend Jocelyn Snow any of her tours or courses?
Definitely. Yeah, I would definitely recommend Jocelyn for anything. Like, even I have friends who are like, "Oh, I'm getting into adventure riding, but I'm short. I think I should lower my bike." I automatically send her like her Jocelyn Snow's videos on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah, she's super inspiring. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So, how did you hurt your leg? Was it motorcycle?
I hurt my leg many times. So, and this is the hilarious thing. So, I used to be a runner. Like I would be like, "Oh, like let's do a 16K run," or every weekend we'll do 21K run. I was like, no big deal. But that was like during the pandemic year, 2020, 2021. And then in 2021, the first trail race was opening up, but I magically dropped a butter knife from my face level because I was standing onto my foot and it severed my tendon. So I had like,
Ouch.
a few weeks in a cast because my severed tendon, had surgery. And then that was 2021. 2022, I got hit by a car while driving to work.
Oh,
So it was a
no.
head on collision. And
Oh,
then
no.
2023, I broke my foot trying to wheelie over two logs. And then like the handlebar just like smashed into my foot. So I'm like, so I still haven't attempted the wheelie, but that's my goal.
Okay, your goal is to learn how to do a wheelie?
Wheelie, yeah, and especially over logs and over things, like, so I can get over obstacles.
Amazing. I just want to know how to wheelie, period, not so much get over
Me too.
obstacles.
Yeah, me too. But to
So,
start there.
yeah, that's true. So, was there someone who supported you getting into motorcycle riding?
No, not really. It was funny because when I first started riding, it was like not I didn't know anyone, so I was riding with the people I met in learning school, and then slowly my coworkers got motorcycles the next summer. So then I was riding with my coworkers, and then I guess also being a female, it's much easier meeting new riding buddies. So I would meet like in the future years, I would meet a bunch of riding buddies, and luckily, so my husband is the only guy that I've dated that actually rides. So before that, everyone would like sit on the back of my bike and we'll go places. So yes, yeah. So,
Cool.
but now he and I go on a lot of adventures and he helps me out on stuff. So, but
Awesome.
before that, it was finding friends.
So, you have any adventures coming up, both of you, or by yourself again?
No, not right now because I have to go work in Nova Scotia this summer.
Oh, okay.
But my next big trip, I hope to go ride Nepal. Like I really want to go to Nepal and ride the suspension bridge.
Cool. Let's do it. Let's get some girls together and let's go.
Yes, let's go.
Awesome. So,
Mhm.
Nova Scotia, have you ridden there before? Are you going to take your bike?
No, 'cause, when I worked there 2 years ago, I took my little dirt bike and I because our hours were so long, I didn't end up riding at all on the weekends. It was mostly just sleep and laundry. So this year, I'm not gonna bring my dirt bike, nor am I gonna bring my road bike. It's just gonna
Oh,
be me driving. I know, I'm gonna bring a bicycle.
okay, that's okay. What may I ask what your job is? What do you do?
I work as a digital imaging technician in the camera department for film
Okay,
and TV. So I work in
cool.
film and TV.
Okay, so is there something being filmed in Nova Scotia?
Yeah, I am currently working on a TV show called We Were Liars season 2 on
Oh,
Amazon.
cool.
We did season 1 like 2 years ago, and now this is season 2, and it's based on the books. Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard of those books, but it's called
Oh
Weird.
yeah, we were liars.
Okay, I should look that up.
Yeah. However, because we're a little adult, we're not like, the books are more for like young adults, like they're coming of age, you know.
Okay,
So maybe that's why you haven't heard of it.
awesome. So, have you ever been in any of your TV shows that you help make?
No, I've been offered, like, to be the walk-on or the walk-by, but I'm just so awkward. Like, if I walk by, I'll accidentally look into the camera and walk very, very slow. So I'm not in front of the camera type of person.
That's hilarious. Well, they should if they need like a stunt rider or something, you could totally do it.
Oh, and for an indie, I actually rode as because I actually rode as a stunt rider or like just the, the double because the script had like the Asian female heroine who broke a sex ring and she needed to of course she rides a motorcycle. So I was that
Obviously.
character. I rode the
Awesome.
motorcycle. So yeah.
That's so cool. I'd love to do that. I'd love to be like a stunt rider or something. Because you don't see you anyway.
Hmm.
You wear your helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. So you don't enjoy riding in Toronto too much. So where do you ride normally? Where's your go-to?
So I got TKC 80s on my bike right now, so they're very knobby tires. So we would ride or go to the Ganaraska Forest, and that's usually where I ride because there's a lot of trails and single track, and so that's much fun. That's a little technical and it's fun, and so you can choose how long you want to be there, and yeah, like I still enjoy riding. It's just that Toronto's a lot of trafficy.
For sure.
And, like, I don't know about you, but the first few years I got a motorcycle for transportation, I gained a lot of weight, so I've told myself that if I have to go to work, if it's under 16 kilometers, I'm gonna bicycle. If it's after 16, like past 16, then a motorcycle.
That's a good rule. That's a good rule. So what do you do to stay in shape for off-road riding? Because it takes a lot out of you.
Oh, yes, I have to talk to you about this later too. I so after riding with, Jocelin in Georgia, she was teaching me how to push my bike up. When you park your bike on an incline and
Yeah.
the kickstand is downhill, and how do
Yeah.
you push your bike up? So she's like, "Oh yeah, just throw your leg over," and it's like doing a squat. I'm like, "Okay, maybe for you because you have butt muscles. I'm not that strong." So since coming back, I was a runner before, so that's a lot of cardio and a bicyclist. So now I'm starting to run again, bicycling, and I've added like weightlifting but I'm
Awesome.
always hurting myself.
Oh,
So recently I'm like doing a lot of like reformer Pilates just to build the little muscles.
good.
Because once you're over 40, everything hurts.
Yes.
Oh
Everything
yeah.
changes. I get it. For sure. We have to train a little bit differently, but strength training is super, super important. And I found that really helped when I was off roading for the BDR because you're
Hmm.
so tense and you're like sticking your butt out a little bit. And yeah, it's just totally different riding than on street.
Hmm. For sure.
So, tell me about a ride that's changed you or that you'll never forget.
So we wherever we travel now as a married couple or since I've started dating Jasper, that was 14 years ago. Everywhere we go, we try to like motorcycle somewhere
Awesome.
and discover, because then you get to discover the backcountries. So I remember in Thailand or Cambodia,
Oh,
it was my first time doing off-road because I've been a road rider. And they're like, oh, yeah, here to test my skills or to see what level I'm at. They put me on a dirt bike and they're like, and go. You have to go into this ditch and up. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to jump this ditch if I go really fast. And I went really fast and I smashed into the side of the ditch. And I was like, they were all like, what the hell were you doing? So they put me in the basic level of off road riding. And then it was from there that I was like, you know what, I should probably learn how to, up my skill a little bit. So yeah, that totally changed me. And then when we got back, we bought dirt bikes. So we looked into buying dirt bikes so that we can learn more technical stuff.
Yeah. So what has been your most challenging off-road experience so far?
So in 2022, my husband and I rode we did call it the Three Ocean Tour. So we went from Toronto to BC to Yukon to the Dempster Highway up to the Arctic Ocean, and then went back
Wow.
to Labrador and Newfoundland. And so I found the hardest at the point was like Dempster Highway because it's so like gravelly. You can't really go faster than 50, 60 kilometers. And then that was like gotta be on all the time because there's like oncoming traffic and bicyclists everywhere and bugs. I remember because when you stop, I remember I parked my bike because I really had to use the washroom because there's like no washroom. It's just like random
That's
Arctic
right. You
tundra.
just go and outside.
You
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I parked my bike. It was still on. I just threw the kickstand down because I really had to go. And I went off to the side and my bike fell over
Oh
and it
no.
was just covered in like mosquitoes. And like
Ew.
I was like, oh my goodness, because of I guess the carbon monoxide that was coming out of the exhaust. So it attracted all these bugs. And it was just like I came back to like just grossness. So that was like gross bugs that I have to touch in order to lift my bike up. So my husband helped me up with that because I don't like mosquito bites. So that was very challenging. And then the other
Interesting.
one was also in Canada, in North Quebec, after Manic 5, heading into Labrador. It's all like muddy, slippery road. And that day, of course, it was raining. So it was just like super sleek, super rainy. And then my visor decided to break. So I was getting sand in my eyes and rain in my eyes. So yeah, that was exciting. So yeah, it's
Wow.
all part of the fun.
Yeah, it's true. Wow, you're a tough rider. And you've been everywhere, so all over Canada. And what about in the States? Where's your most memorable trip? Is it the Chattahoochee? I hear so much about that.
Oh yeah, I guess my biggest trip. I haven't really ridden in the States. So yeah, the Chattahoochee would be my longest, biggest one. I've done like one of those over and out in Missouri, but
Okay.
I basically drove out there and did training. That was it. And yeah, so I've only ridden in Georgia and Missouri.
But overseas, where have you gone? You said Cambodia and Thailand in Thailand?
Yes, Europe and also where else? Thailand. But my most the best place that I believe everyone should go is Mongolia. I fell in love with Mongolia.
Okay. How
Oh
come? How
yeah.
long were you there? Tell me about it.
I think it was a 12-day trip or a 13-day trip, but it was just like in Mongolia, there's like no maps. It's like, or there's no like directions or road. You'll see on the highway sign, it'll say like Ulaanbaatar, the capital city, and it'll just say straight. And so you're like, okay, you just go straight for like X amount of kilometers, and you're like, okay, there it is. And if you like veered off a little bit, you're like, "Oh, did I miss it by a few kilometers?" So yeah, it was just it was on a tour, so we didn't get lost, but it was memorable in the fact that also we were on one of the days we were getting close to our camp, but we were hit by a sandstorm,
Wow.
and I was wearing like the off-road helmet, so it's just visor and open air,
Yeah.
and it was literally like sandblasting my face. And
Ouch.
so it was incredible. And I have video of it where like you turn around or like, and the headlights of the other guys just disappear. And
Wow.
it was incredible. And when we stopped briefly, like the wind was so hard, like I just fell over because it just blew me over.
Whoa. That's an experience for sure. So what's your
Yeah.
advice for riding through a sandstorm?
Don't stop.
Keep going.
Keep going. Don't stop.
That's
It
so
will hurt.
cool. You lead such a cool life. What else do you do for fun besides riding?
I have a cat that I love very much, or two cats, sorry. I love one more than the other. And I just, garden and do semi-retirement stuff. I like to tell myself that I'm semi-retired.
Yeah, that's the dream. Awesome. Cool. So what do you wear for riding gear normally when you're out
Uh,
off-roading?
Like, what do I ride normally?
What do you wear for riding gear? Do you have any suggestions or what do you like to wear?
If I'm riding like single track and on dirt bike and more technical stuff, I would usually wear a jersey and then I have my Leatt vest. that I have a lot of Leatt protective equipment and the helmet, Leatt off-road helmet, and then just like knee pads or what they call knee armor
Yep.
and kind of like off-road pants. I don't know what they're called, but they're kind
Yep.
of like they look nice
Yeah.
with the jerseys.
Yeah,
Forget
for
what they're
sure.
called.
So you just
Yeah.
wear the kneecaps or the knee guards underneath your pants?
Yes.
I gotta buy some of
And
that too.
then yeah, I have to get proper ones too. And then yeah, just the protective vest and then arm elbow pads. That's really it. I don't have a knit thing because I'm not doing that many jumps.
Okay. What about maintenance? Do you do your own bike maintenance? Do you know a lot about bikes and mechanics?
I tried to do my own bike maintenance. I so during like my midlife crisis, I was like, should I go into motorcycle mechanics? So I was taking like I think I did 3 courses out of like this continuing education course at Seneca College, and I was
Cool.
changing my own oil and air filters, so the simple stuff. And I could change clutch plates, but I don't really. But I have a really good mechanic I rely on. It's funny because 2 years ago I changed my own chain,
Ooh.
and um, not very good at like I forget to like keep things tightened. So last year at the end of the season I rode home, I kept hearing these clunk clunk sound, and I got home and my chain was very slack, and half of the axle was like out. So then basically the bolt at the other side is gone and out. So I emailed my mechanic and I was like, "Hey, can I order a new bolt?" And he knew what had happened and he called. He's like, "I don't mean to lecture you because I know you do your own thing, but you have to bring it in for us to check it or you have to tighten it. Always remember to tighten your screws and your
Yeah.
bolts."
That's cool
So
though
yeah.
that you did that. My daughter is heading to Seneca College this September
Oh, in Toronto?
in Toronto.
Nice. What is she taking?
It's her first going to be her first year. She's 19 and she's going to be a pilot, hopefully. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I know. So that's a good college for.
Yes, and then I think there's a lot of a few of my friends got sent down to Antarctica to do flight school as well because of the way they land or like oh, wow, it's very exciting pilot life.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I'm super happy for her. I heard it's very competitive and not easy. So I'm going to wish her the best. So do you usually ride by yourself and your hubby? Just you two? Or do you have a community that you ride with sometimes?
Pretty much I just ride with my husband and I. And also sometime if I want to do like a coffee run or a fun run, then there's Lita's in Toronto that I ride with. But
Okay.
usually a lot of the time they have events that are happening during the week. And when I'm working in the summer, I'm not available. So yeah, usually I'll just go with like I used to have a neighbor who also rides. So, like in my area, like in my alleyway, I would meet neighbors with motorcycles. So, like we would go riding like a neighborly ride. It was fun. So, yeah, he has an off-road bike. Husband has an off-road bike, so we'll just go ride in the forest.
Awesome. That's so cool. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to, what would you say to a woman who's thinking about riding a motorcycle, whether it's just probably just starting off street?
I would say my advice to any female is like definitely get all education and defensive courses that you can and be a defensive rider because in Toronto, traffic is really, really bad because I'm also a bicyclist. So I see like all the chaoticness. So if you just be a defensive rider and don't be preoccupied with anything else. And especially a new rider, wear.
Wear the gear. Yeah, right. For safety, for sure. Dress for the slide, not the ride.
Yes, exactly. Oh my goodness. Last year when I rode with Jocelyn in Europe, on the first day it was raining really hard and I was going through a tunnel and I don't know, something happened. I may have slipped on slippery spot and I literally watched my bike slide in front of another car, the opposite traffic. They stopped, and my like the carriage box, like just slide. I was like, hmm. And all I got out of it was like, because I'm wearing the climb gear when I'm wearing on the street, and I just had got 2 holes in my pants, and
Wow.
yeah, a little scratch in my glove and a titch on my helmet. And I was like, wow, that was great.
That's why
Yeah.
it works. Yeah, because that could have been your skin.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my goodness," and the slide was literally like a good few second. I remember going, "Oh my goodness, I have time to think about this so I can hold down on the ground." I was like, "Yeah, that was insane."
Crazy. And that was the first day, and you still kept going. You just picked up your bike and kept going.
Yes, I mean, I paid for the trip. I need the value, so yeah, of
Badass. That's so awesome. You're so tough. So I want to ask you, has
course it is.
motorcycle riding ever helped you through a struggle or a hard chapter in your life?
I think so. Yes, it's definitely helped through. difficult times in life because of all the people that you meet, and you can just go and ride, or even I do it with bicycle as well. Like I would
Mhm.
just go on like a good, you know, 3, 4 hour ride, and it's like a moving meditation is how I
Yes,
think it
that's a
is.
great way to say it. Moving meditation. That's wonderful.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I always end up the interviews with like a moto rapid fire kind of question.
Oh gosh.
Question. So first thing that comes to your mind, okay? Don't think too much, but helmet
Okay.
on. Where are you riding and who is with you?
Where am I riding right now? Like,
Yeah,
like whatever.
anywhere. You got to go.
Nepal and my cat
Yes.
and Jasper, my
Is,
husband. Here's my
is,
cat.
is that a hairless?
Yeah, he's a sphinx.
So cute. Those are supposed to be really smart cats.
Yes, and very like the whole time that he's been like trying to get hold of me. They're very attached.
Awesome. What's his name?
His full name is Lord Ludwig von Scrotum.
Uh, Pleased to meet you. Honored to meet you. Okay, your bike breaks down on a remote road. Who do you call first?
CA
Okay, what song is playing when you ride?
anything by Corn.
Okay, finish the sentence. The best thing about being a woman who rides is
Hopefully is finding male friends who can help you pick up your bike. That's what
yeah.
That's what instructor said to me. They're like, when I was dropping my bike and was trying to like learn how to lift my bike, he was like, "You're a female. Males will always come to your rescue." I'm like, "Oh, I use that."
Yeah, it's true. That's true. But girl, I'm gonna train you so you can lift your own bike.
Mm-hmm.
Get strong
I
enough
know.
to.
Yes. You
Okay,
just watch.
right. Yes. You ride at sunrise or sunset? Which one you prefer?
Sunrise. I prefer
Sunrise.
sunrise.
And if your motorcycle could talk, what would it say about you?
They would say, "Please lose some weight and clean me because I am so dirty."
That's hilarious. Okay, well, that's all I've got for you. Thank you, Rainy. That was awesome. I love getting to know you. Don't you play musical instruments too or something?
Yeah, I do. I play bass. I used to be in a band as well.
Cool. What kind of band?
It was a gothy industrial dance band.
Okay,
So
you're
yeah.
not in it. You don't play anymore?
No, because working in film and TV, like, it's like 14 hours a day, so it's like there's hardly any time,
Wow.
unfortunately.